always had that something in you where you wanted to strive for better. So describe for me, what has your journey been like in life?
The journey it's been very hard because, I was on public assistance, so it was like, at first it was a boundary there. Anybody knows about public assistance, they don't want you to go so far or they're going to cut it off.
When you describe yourself now, tell me, who's Freddie Stevenson, the man that you are now?
A few years ago, I remember in college, they would always have speakers come in and ask us who we are. I wouldn't have been able to answer the question. It probably would have had something to do with football. I'm a fullback for Florida State. I want to play in the NFL. But now it's just simple. I'm Freddie Stevenson, man of purpose.
This is a passion of mine. The whole premise behind the Jazzie Conversations with Jazz podcast is to spotlight the fact that it is now time for you to get your dope comeback story.
Hey, say Jazzie Conversations with Jazz. Jazzie Conversations with Jazz. Say Jazzie Conversations with Jazz. Jazzie Conversations with Jazz.
Every Monday, I call people into a studio and we dig into their comeback stories, because I know that we see people in their glory and we see people when they're on top, when they can have that silver lining to them, but we all go through some things, right? We all go through some things, and I think once we're real with people and we let people know the trials and tribulations that we've gone through, it only makes us human and it connects one of us.
So I just want to know, what would be your advice to someone who is looking to start their own podcast?
First and foremost, let me back up. Find your voice. What are you going to talk about? Is it something that people want to listen to? How long will your podcast be? What's going to be the consistency of your podcast? Are you going to do it like weekly, daily? Are you going to do it monthly? So once you find that, because that's going to indicate if somebody wants to listen to your podcast or not. I do know how I'm doing it. I'm doing it with God. I'm doing it because this is a passion of mine. And when you are passionate about something, you're not going to stop. So it really it comes down to how bad do you want it.
It definitely comes down to how bad do you want it. And so if you are tuned in, as I know that you are tuned in right now, I know that you want it really, really bad. And what am I talking about? I am talking about whatever that goal is that you have. I am talking about, what does it take for you to be successful? What is it that you are striving for? What do you wake up for every single day? You know that you are in tune to the Jazzie Conversations with Jazz podcast. This is an award-winning podcast that celebrates the power of the comeback. I truly believe that you can come back from anything with God, the right resources, knowing how to use those resources effectively, and your willingness to do the necessary work. You guys know that it is a fantastic Monday, and Mondays are those days that we are able to recalibrate, that we are able to refocus, that we are able to realign to our goals, whether it be an old goal or whether it be a new goal that we have set for ourselves, because it's all about progression. And don't fret, because we all fall short. We all go through some things, as you heard in the intro, but it is up to us to get up every single day and overcome, right? And so I am so excited about this episode. This is episode 150. I am so excited because the one thing that you can count on from your host, Jasmar Jazz Bennett, you can count on consistency, because I truly believe that our community of Jazzie crew members, this is an epicenter of inspiration, of motivation, of connections to a lot of people who are in a myriad of industries that we can connect to. And so when you are feeling that you are by yourself, when you're feeling that you cannot overcome, it is my goal that you can go through the catalog of this podcast, this whole I would say this is a community that we have created, you and I together, where we can get some sort of inspiration from one of these podcast episodes. And so we are stamping this episode in history as 150. And I cannot wait to introduce you to my special guest. I met the special guest at a marvelous event by the name of Sit. And so, Stacy, we are still singing your praises over that event. You gave us such an immaculate, such a luxurious, and such an important I would say space just for women to come together, to uplift one another, to connect with one another, to feed off of one another's greatness and talents, and just, really bask into a beautiful ambiance of that day. And so thank you so much. And so for my special guest for episode 150 is none other than Miss Stephanie Colón. And I am so elated to have her here. When I met her at this event, her aura was just vibrant. From the smile, from the hug, to the endearing conversation that we had. That was my first impression of her. And so Stephanie has spent the majority of her life in Polk County. I love me a Polk Countyan. She is originally from, well, I don't know if she wants me to tell you this, but she was from Fort Meade, like Fort Meade. I'm from Bartow, so we love these small cities. So she made an indelible mark through her professional achievements and extensive community involvement with 25 years, guys, of experience in the banking industry. Her professional achievements and extensive community involvement span that long. Stephanie began her career as a teller at Florida First Bank and advanced through roles in deposit operations and commercial lending. The Treasury Management and retail banking. Today, she is the owner of Stephanie Colón Consulting, a business development strategy firm that empowers companies to scale, to grow, and to thrive. Now, in addition to her entrepreneur endeavor, Stephanie is a sought after speaker and host of workshops in women in business, where she shares her expertise in leadership, resilience, and business development. Her commitment to fostering growth and embracing diversity is evident in every facet of her work. Stephanie's dedication extends beyond her professional life. As a 28-year military wife, she balances raising a family with supporting her husband. Now, her husband, Tony, has had multiple deployments in the U.S. Air Force, including missions in Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom, and other critical operations. A devoted mother of 4, including her brother and 3 daughters, Stephanie's ability to juggle family, career, and community service speaks for itself, for her extraordinary resilience and her leadership. Now, her community involvement is equally as impressive. I love me a community service girl, let me tell you, because it's not just about us. It's about everyone around us in the community. Stephanie has served on numerous nonprofit boards, including the United Way, Girls Inc., and the Achievement Academy, which is a very, very special academy near and dear to my heart. She has completed multiple terms on the Lakeland Chamber of Commerce Board as a member chair of the Lakeland Rotary Club and a proud alumna of Leadership Lakeland Class 30. I'm Class 40. We'll have a debate as soon as I bring her on camera. Leadership Polk, Class 8, and Inside Polk County Public Schools Class 2. Stephanie exemplifies servant leadership. Her dedication and numerous accolades includes the Girls Inc. She Knows Where She's Going Award in 2012, the Polk Emerging Leaders Award in 2014, and the prestigious Lakeland Chamber of Commerce Business Woman of the Year in 2021. Now, Stephanie, that last award is something that I have had my eyes set on, so I'm going to need you to be my mentor in getting me there. So listen, how are you, my amazing guest today? Because you are just full of resilience. You are full of empowerment. You are just full of excellence. How are you today?
I am outstanding. I'm doing really well. Yes, I cannot complain. Life has been really good. So
Yes, you
thank
are.
you for that intro. And I'm sorry it was really long. I'm going to
I love
shorten it
that.
up next time.
Listen, one thing about me here on this podcast, when people send me their resume or their bios, I don't like to skip over things because I like for people to hear how amazing they are, because that's something that you have worked very hard to do. And even in professional spaces, what I learned is that sometimes when a bio is read, people are like, I didn't know you did that. Oh, you did that? Oh, wow. So I just say, listen, we have but one life to live. And while
True.
we are on this earth, let's celebrate. Let's be celebrated. Let's not be afraid to be celebrated. And plus, you had me saying it, not you. So listen, I'm giving you all of your kudos because it is so deserved. So well deserved.
Well, thank you. I'm honored. And thank you so much for having me on the show today. I'm excited to talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm an open book and I'm ready to get started.
This is what I love about you, because you are so fantastically real. Like when I met you, I didn't have a preconceived notion about you. I had heard about you. You know how somebody's reputation precedes them. Like I heard
Yep.
about all of the wonderful things that you were doing in the community. I knew who you were. It's just some people that are just like, you need to know her, or I want you guys to meet. And so it was swirling in that particular realm. But to meet you, like I felt like I wasn't being introduced to a stranger. Like you felt like home. You felt real. It's like, girl, all of these accolades, yes, but I'm a real woman. I've gone through some things. This is what I like. I'm a woman's woman. I love women's empowerment. And so, we are all equally as great. And so I love a woman who all these accolades precede you, but you're just real. I love that. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
So
Thank you. I don't think I can be anything else but real.
Yeah.
Some people like it and some people don't. So I am who I am.
Yes, and I love it. And so Stephanie, I said I wanted to start the show off with something new. Because today I'm just feeling it. I don't know if it was maybe something I saw on social media. I don't know if it was just me remembering your bond that you had with I call her your partner in crime, but obviously you guys are partnering to do amazing things in this community. And I love how selfless you were. Although you were a panelist on stage, you sung her praises throughout that audience, because I took notice of her, because I'm like, okay, whose friend is this? Because whoever friend this is, she is definitely your friend, because she's capturing footage. It's like I spotted her immediately in the audience. And then when you said, that's my second half, or like that's my other half, like, and you just started explaining that relationship. I really love that. So let's start off by shouting out all the wonderful women who ride for you, the women who really truly have your back. So shout out some women who do that for you.
Sure. So first and foremost, obviously Lori. We talk
Lori.
every day. She is my sunshine in the morning. I put that out there on Facebook recently because her birthday just passed. So shout out to her. Happy birthday.
And you have a birthday coming up tomorrow.
I do. Yes. Thank
Happy
you.
belated birthday, Lori. I hope you enjoyed it too.
Yes. And some other amazing women who weren't there that night, but are very supportive. I have a crew of ladies, Christina Ingracia, Meredith Pope, Janelle Beatty, Charlene Rodriguez, Paula Rent, and Sarah Farkas. Those are kind of like my crew of women that I spent a lot of time with. I also want to shout out to Tony Strollo. She is my brother's wife, but she is also very supportive of all the things that I do all the time. And not to mention my girls, my children. Kayla Cunningham is my daughter's sister. That's my brother's wife. I call her my daughter's sister because of the way we raised my brother. My oldest daughter, Jordan, and my middle child, Sydney, and our youngest, Mercedes. So those I am surrounded by girls. I have three granddaughters too. So
yes,
we're an amazingly big family here. So it's awesome. Yes.
So I love that. I love it. I love that you have a community that you truly just know supports you, and those women that you can go to on your brightest of brightest days, and then of your darkest of darkness days, your days of not really knowing, of being uncertain, and then of being very, very confident, where it's no shade with that, where it's just really all love and really support. So I really love that. I definitely want to shout out a group of women, and I want to shout out the board of Girls Leave a Mark Inc. Glam for
Yeah.
short. We are a nonprofit organization that specializes in providing educational workshops. We provide resources. Um, we just provide opportunities for teen moms, and we also offer resources for teen dads as well, because those teen dads need assistance as well, in order for these teens to really really thrive. And so we are embarking on our second annual fundraising. It is going to be a gala that's going to be spectacular. We have special guest speakers, we have food, we have music. The ambiance is going to be great, and we're going to be celebrating teen moms. We also speak about resources for prevention as well, because we just really want these girls to be well-rounded and to thrive into society, right? And so our Mamas Mix and Mingle, the second annual, is coming up May 3rd, and it's going to be held in Lake Wales, Florida. The address for that is 205 North 5th Street in Lake Wales. And so you can get your tickets at www.girlsleaveamark.org. And I just want to say thank you so much, Stephanie, for sponsoring a ticket for someone very, very special to be able to attend this great gala for a great cause, because all of the proceeds are going to go back to the nonprofit to support our girls. And we also have a pantry where it is full of Pampers, diapers, clothing, anything that these girls will need for their children, and they get to buy these goods with our glam bucks, but they don't get glam bucks unless they participate in the educational workshops. So it is just a full cycle of education and resources. And so, Stephanie, thank you so much for helping us out.
Yeah, that was my pleasure. When I was a teen mom, I don't know if you want me to talk about this, but
Yes.
glad to. All right.
Okay.
So when I was a teen mom, there weren't resources like this. And, you mentioned that I came from Fort Meade, and, it's a small town, and, being 17 and 11th grade and being pregnant, it wasn't really supported very much. Not that people weren't kind and nice and I didn't have a support around me.
Yeah.
It just, the impression that it left among other high school students wasn't appreciated so
Right.
much. And, and of course that was like 30 years ago. So that was a time difference. Things have obviously changed now, which is wonderful. And so it's nice to know that there are things like this now in the community where we're supporting women or young women who are going to be moms, and dads who are going to be dads, young men who are going to be dads. So I love that.
Thank you so much. And I just say, you are a testament. There are a plethora of women who are successful, and who have been teen moms. And so it is not, society should not put a scarlet S on these young ladies. It may have been a mistake. It may have been something that came out of not knowing. It could have just been you think there's something that you want, but it is not something that is going to determine that your future is not going to be bright. If anything, it is the precursor to motivate you to want to thrive in this world. And so I am so glad that our teen moms have someone to look up to like you, because I definitely will be showing this episode to them as an encouraging spot, because you are doing some fantastic things. And so that's what it's just all about. It's not about pigeonholing someone. It's not about guilting someone into going into a shell and saying that I'm not worthy. It is about saying, listen, I own up to what has happened to me, but this does not define me. And my baby is supposed to be here. Whenever God blesses us with our children, that is exactly when we should have those kids. And so it is just going to be a blessing all the way around. And so that's what we believe in. And that's what we live in that space. And so, listen, you are a woman who is very passionate about women's empowerment. And so I love that. But I want to go ahead and let you go ahead and advertise for the event that is coming up. And then we will work ourselves into what you consider to be your comeback story and the marvelous person that you are right now. So let's talk about your event that you have coming up on this Thursday, because we want people to purchase tickets. Okay.
Yes, we do. We're Lakeland and Polk County is always last minute. So
always. I'm glad it's not just me.
Drives me nuts, but it's okay. We had some great sponsors come in actually today, so it was really wonderful. And we do have tickets on sale. So the event is Thursday. It's going to be held at the Spring Hill Suites near the RP Funding Center on from 8:30 a.m. till 12:30. So it's just a half day. We'll have a continental breakfast and some coffee. Make sure everybody's awake. We're going to do some guided exercises, and we're going to talk about things like self-awareness and emotional wake, kind of like that ripple effect that you leave when you're walking away from somebody, or maybe somehow the experience you have from the ripple effect from somebody else, and just how to navigate those things. And we're going to do a communication intelligence exercise. And then we're also going to talk about fierce conversations. And when I say fierce, I don't mean it in some kind of crazy way. I just mean it like a conversation that's important when somebody maybe have wronged you, or you felt some kind of way, or like your feelings were hurt about something, and you just want to be able to have the confidence to be able to have that conversation with somebody and not be afraid. I feel like oftentimes as women, and I know I've experienced this myself, you feel the tension when there's something there, right? When someone's upset with you and you are like, I don't know what I did. What did I say? Identifying that and maybe recognizing that, and then being able to sit down and talk to that person and just feel confident knowing, like, first of all, they're not going to bite you. And as soon as you just say, what have I done, and kind of own it, how the walls just drop. And then the tension goes away and the conversation is able to be had, So that's what we're talking about this workshop. We're super excited about it. We want all women to attend. We are limited on seating up to like 65 people. So we're like 3/4 of the way there, just a little over. And tickets will be on sale until Wednesday, because we just keep it open because we want to give everybody the opportunity to come.
I love that. And so I put the link down below where you can get your tickets. So make sure you get your tickets today. Make sure you follow Stephanie. Make sure that you keep in contact with her, because these workshops, how often do you have the workshops, first of all?
We try to have them every other month, and we're starting to kind of travel now. So we're doing them in other cities. So having them, we want to not just have them in Lakeland, to be quite honest. We really would love to bring it over to the east side of the county, in Lake Wales and Winter Haven, Haines City, Lake Alfred, Eagle Lake, all of those, and Bartow, Mulberry, all of those places. We just haven't had a chance to really get down there and ingrain it because we've been working so hard up here. But we realize that conversation is extremely important on the other side, and Lakeland doesn't get to have it all. So it gets to be spread everywhere. And we want to be able to give that to all women throughout our entire county and then beyond, because we've got things going on elsewhere.
I love that too, because I just remember waking up one morning and, after I pray, it's like, social media. And so I was scrolling on social media one morning. This was probably maybe a month or so ago, and I saw one of your past workshops that you had, and I'm just looking, I'm like, ooh, I know this lady, and I know this wonderful woman, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why was I not in the room? And I started just doing research, and I'm like, what you are doing, Stephanie, you and Lori and your entire tribe, you guys are providing critical points for women who are in business, and for women who need to learn how to scale their business. Like I think you have something here, because, women need a community that feels safe to them. Hi, Tamika Taylor. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tamika is definitely a connector, as I am.
Yes. I know Tamika.
Tamika was at SIT as well. Simone was at SIT. She's saying she would definitely love to have you for an event in the Winter Haven office that we have, and the Lake Wales office. So she wants to chat with you. And so this is the beautiful thing that I like about, this podcast, because it's very interactive in real time, but then it also connects when people come back and they look at the replay as well. And so my goal for this episode was, we see a lot of women. We see guests that have been on this podcast, and I'm going through all of their comments again. I just really love it when people are able to feel like they can connect with the person without being face to face with them. And so that was the whole goal of this particular episode. And so, Stephanie, I really wanted you to be able to describe, who you are. I want you to be able to describe the things that you have gone through, because sometimes we look at people and we just see that silver lining. And I say this in the intro of my podcast every single Monday. We see the silver lining, but we don't necessarily get to dive into their story. And me, with my lens, when I'm meeting new women and I'm seeing, how perfect they look, how beautiful they look, because it just depends on the setting. And Sid would be a great example of that. When I started telling people what I do and what my podcast is about, and people are just like, as pretty as they are, as refined as they were, they're like, oh, I've got a story. Like, I need to talk. And it's just like, I marvel in that. And I think there's power. I know for a fact that there is power in the story. Some people choose to keep it to themselves because maybe they're embarrassed. Maybe they feel that it's going to be something that makes them look weak and indicate that they don't have it all together. But I truly believe that it is power in saying what it is that you have had to grow through, because we get our grit from that situation. Most of us get our faith from that situation. I know that I became closer to God in my times of struggle, my time of just hardship. Some of us learn the actual woman that we are, how strong we are. And so what do you consider to be something that you've had to overcome, your biggest comeback, and then how did you overcome it?
Yeah. Well, I got like all night, because this could.
I know, right? I know, right? And you do if you want it.
I don't bore anybody. So I'll start with this, and I'll get to that, and I'll try to keep it brief. When I was young, I was a single child, and I grew up with parents, and I love them both very much, but they're both deceased, and they both died about 4 years from each other. Interesting, at the same age, 61 years old. But when I was younger, I never really felt fully loved by them. And I'm sure they loved me, but I was just there, And I remember walking into a friend's house. I was 8 years old. This young lady, 8 or 9, I can't remember, but her name was Tanya Aiello. I'll never forget it. I don't know where she is in the world today, but walking into her apartment, she was not affluent. She lived, not far from me. And we lived in Fort Lauderdale at the time. So we actually were in another city. But I just remember walking in and just seeing everything and just feeling extremely welcome and extremely like love and just calm and peace. And I told myself in my head, I want my life like this. And it wasn't about the things in the house. It wasn't the material things. So fast forward, growing up in life, I just always knew I wanted something better. I strived really hard, to do really well in school and to just push hard and make A's and B's and so on. When I was 16, my mom was an alcoholic, and she also used drugs. And I was trying to go to school, and we got into an argument, and I left, and I went to live with my now ex-husband, who is a wonderful man, and his parents are wonderful people. And we,
I love that you can say that. Oh, I love that you can say that.
Oh, I love them, and their grandparents were my grandparents. Like we stayed connected. I loved them, and we had a hard divorce. I mean, it was not easy. It was a battle. However, it didn't matter because it was my daughter's father. It was my daughter. They were wonderful people. We just had to get through that time. Okay. And so, I had her when I was 17. I was in high school. I was working. Grateful that Granny and Papa lived across the street from the high school in Fort Meade. Yeah. Jeff's parents were wonderful parents. They really taught me what it was like to be like a family. And I just gleaned from that growing up with them. And, I graduated high school. Jeff graduated. We got divorced. We moved on. I met my husband, Tony. He's been wonderful. As soon as I met him, he joined the military. And I was like, why am I here? And we weren't married. So, but that's okay, right? You just go through the things. Anyways, years later, we got married. We had a daughter, Mercedes. So he had a daughter. I had a daughter. And then we had our daughter. Yes. And then my stepdad, my brother's father, died in 2001. And I remember looking at my husband and saying, we're gonna raise him, And so we did. We just kind of took him, and I just knew that he needed that stable environment. And throughout all this process, I got a job with the bank. I was a server. We figured out that wasn't going to be good for me because we have kids and so on. So I got a job at the bank, and I want to thank Laverne Scott. Shout out to Laverne Scott. She gave me my first banking job, and she believed in me. And I worked in banking my entire career until 2024. And I had the opportunity to learn so much. And I knew I wanted, again, to be more, to do more. I just kept saying, I want to have that position. I want to have that position. And I got them throughout the years, and I bounced around from bank to bank, but that's how you learn. A lot of people don't like that. There's a lot of negative talk about that. But the truth is, I learned best practices from every single one of those institutions. And it has helped me in my career even now. So my comeback story really is, I've dealt with some military things. It has been rough as a military wife, but we survived, and we're here and grateful. I love my military husband. He's deployed right now. So, he's, he's gone now. And, so I love all that.
What advice would you give to someone who is a military wife? Because my godson, he just joined the military not too long ago, and he got married. And he's young. They're young, and they're just so cute together. But what advice would you give to a new military couple?
Yeah. So trust each other, communicate, make sure you're constantly communicating, understanding your language, each other's vocabulary, because it isn't always the same. And, just building that trust to feel safe, to talk about how you feel is probably the most important thing I can say. One of the things, because of something that happened to me, and I'll get into that in a minute, but I'm kind of going in the middle of this. I was on a mission.
Yes, you was.
Okay. Side note, I always say that no matter how many stripes my husband has, I have one more because I have to deal with everything at home. So, and he's such a supporter. Y'all just don't even know. When you get a chance to meet him, you're going to love him. So anyway, because of I had something, I lost my job, and I'll talk about that in a second. I was devastated, and I had to learn how to trust my husband in a way that I never trusted him before. And we've been together for 28 years, y'all. So 28 years to, not that I didn't trust him, but to trust him in this way, it was new to me. And I was just asking God, what do I do? I was so devastated. So I'll talk about that. So I went to work for this bank, and I made a decision about something, and they didn't agree with it. Now, there was no loss of money because I don't believe in that. No, it was just, it was simple. It was simple. I wouldn't talk about it if I couldn't speak the truth about it, right? It actually had to do with my daughter and her bank account, but it was there, again, no loss to the bank. And it was about a decision I made, and we're not really supposed to do that. But anyway, it was my mistake. But I say it was my mistake. It was my decision, but I supported my daughter. And I'm first and foremost, I'm a mom, and that matters more to me than any amount of money that you're going to pay me as a salary. So and there's a lot of behind that story, and we can get into that later. But, I was devastated. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. And I know this is on Facebook, and I've never really talked about this except when I started doing these workshops. And I thought I didn't think I mattered anymore. I didn't think people respected me anymore. I didn't think that I would be loved the same by my friends. I thought I would be looked at differently. And the truth is, that's not true. You do find the people who do that, and you let them fall off and you move on. Ooh. And, I was very fortunate to work for a nonprofit who gave me a good opportunity at the time, but I realized that really wasn't my jam, if you will, because I'm just a business person. So I'm grateful for that bit of opportunity through that. And then I opened my own company and just started telling people what I was going to do. I took a public speaking class. I learned and understood the business behind all of that. And here I am. And I am doing all of these things. And I'm so excited to be doing it. I have this vision of being on stage and telling people, and especially women, that you can do whatever you want to do in this world, and do not allow limiting beliefs to hold you back, because I did forever. The title banker was who I thought I was. And that is not the case. I'm
Absolutely.
Stephanie Colón. I'm a child of God, and I have been so more connected with God and trusting every step of the way with him guiding me, even though I don't know what I'm doing and I'm scared as I'll get out. But it has been amazing. And I get so excited about, helping women and then helping business owners with what I'm able to do. Because in the banking world, as I grew in that environment, again, learning all the things and just watching all these brilliant people around me and learning from them, I was able to figure out and listen to people and help them with business growth strategies. And I can sit down and listen to a business owner
Yeah.
and just vision from a 50,000 foot view. Okay, have you done this? Let's talk about this. And then the ball starts rolling, and it just comes to me very naturally. It's kind of weird, but I mean, I just listen and I'm like, yep, this is how we can do this. And just kind of walk people through it. And so it's exciting. And I get super excited about that because I've always enjoyed watching businesses grow. And so like, even in banking, like I've watched businesses grow from a tiny little space in a warehouse to a gigantic, they own their own building, and I've helped them with the financing, so it has been a great honor to go through all of these things. And the banking thing, I'll tell you, afterwards, again, ashamed, embarrassed, but I kept going. I kept going to every event. I kept getting out there in front of people because I wasn't going to hide, because I didn't have anything to hide, even though I didn't want to talk about it because I was so embarrassed. I didn't feel like I did anything wrong. And, I believe it was the best thing that ever happened to me, because I am so free to be able to do what I want to do in the way that I want to do it and help other people and on my time and in my way. And I just love it. And it gives me this creative space that I've never had before. So my comeback story is this: what is happening right now? Talking with you, being on stage, helping women, advising people, listening to women, and just trying to be there for them. I don't always have all the answers, and I don't ever want to be the smartest person in the room. I always want to learn from people. It's exciting to me to be like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know you did that, just like what we were talking about earlier. Yeah. So this is my comeback story, and I'm going to keep on going and keep on going. And Lori and I are doing this together, and she was so pivotal for me because we have been talking about this, and she pushed me. She's like, all right, come on, we're going to do it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, because I'm the skeptical banker. And and she pushed me, and now I'm like, okay, floodgates are open. Let's do it. And so we have so many things that we are working on. There's an opportunity that me, Lori, and another woman named Kim, we're talking about having a retreat somewhere in Savannah for a 3-day weekend.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Super affordable, but all about pampering women and giving them everything that they need and empowering them and making them feel loved and special, because, we work so hard. I'm a mom of 4. I got 4 in-loves. I've got 4 grandkids. I got another one on the way. I'm a wife, a military wife. I'm holding down this house. I'm a dog mom. I'm a friend. I'm a business owner.
A lot of stuff.
But I'm me. And God has given me the power to do all of these things. And I am so incredibly grateful for that. In December of 23, I put on Facebook, I said, I feel like I've connected more to God than I ever did. January 24, I lost my job. And so I was like, okay, God, you mean I probably wasn't. And so now I have to. And I've relied on him ever since in so many ways. And it has been so amazing. And I'm grateful for all the people that have been in my path, whether they're cheering me on or they're not.
Listen,
my success is for both people.
Listen to me. Let me tell you, tell me why is it so important? Because sometimes I don't dwell on it, but like if I see it, it's just like, oh, But then I started thinking about that thing, and it's just like, those people who don't support you, they light your fire too. Yeah. So how do you not get stuck in that? How do you not get stuck on just paying attention to the people who don't, and you focus on the people that do?
Well, because I think that, a couple things. One, I pray for that. I pray for me to not worry about that. Yeah. Number one, if I focus too much on
Stephanie, what you do?
I pray for me.
You
pray. I pray that I don't worry about that, because I don't need it.
Yeah.
My validation doesn't come from people on earth anymore. It comes from God.
Yes.
So, so I've learned that though. I have learned that. And that's hard sometimes because we always want validation from our friends and our family. Like, did I do okay? Did I do okay? You know, everybody's judging you, you know, all the time. And you know what? I'm living life. Like you said, we get one time to do it.
Yeah.
And I want to leave a legacy for my grandkids, my girls, my daughters, the people, my friends, because I want people to know that you don't have to be stuck where you are.
Yeah.
You can do anything you want to do. And you can be uncomfortable doing it. It's okay. I've been uncomfortable. But when people, you know, if they're not supporting me, that's okay. That's not for me. But I'm going to continue to support them because I want to be a great example of what it looks like when women support other women, because so many times we are our own worst enemy.
Yeah.
So how do we get out of that? Just be the example. Keep supporting, like those posts, share those posts, do those things, support those women. You inspired me the day that you did when we had that our at SIT. Thank you, Stacey Jones. Love you.
Yes,
shout out to you, sister. So when we had that and you said, everybody pull their phones out, start supporting everybody. I was like, genius. It's genius. Love that. And I never would have thought about that. I don't always think of, I just hope and pray people support me and follow me. No. I need you people to support me, like my stuff at the very least, just like
at
my
the very least. Yes.
At the very least. And I mean, it doesn't take much. And even if my posts are sideways, don't ask me what's going on with that.
It's okay. We're still gonna watch. We support
you. I think it's hilarious. I'm like, whatever. I mean, it's
real. Right.
Yeah. So, you know, and I just try not to focus on that because that's not what I'm supposed to be focusing on. There's always going to be some sort of deviant thing or something that's not going to be positive that comes your way. And people are always going to have an opinion. They're kind of like armpits, right? Everybody's got a couple of them.
Yeah.
They're stinky, right? Just saying.
Right.
So it's okay. I have my own opinions. I mean, I'm guilty of that stuff too, but I've seen it in my environment of 25 years in the professional world, where women can be really ugly to each other. And at the end of the day, we're already fighting enough battles. We don't need to continually be ugly to each other. So, you know, there's that sometimes innate feeling where we're just kind of like, oh, I want to be like that. Or like, how did she get that and not me? But no, what you need to say is, thank goodness for her. I'm happy for her.
Absolutely.
Yay for her. You know, because that's not your journey. This is your journey.
Exactly.
Something else is your journey. You know, you're not a millionaire. Yay for them. Imagine what it's like to be a millionaire.
Listen,
probably
I'm like,
not very easy.
You know, tax season just came up, and I'm like, gosh, if I was a millionaire without the right tax consultant.
Right. You know, sometimes I think about that too a lot because we always think like money is going to always solve everything. Right. I think sometimes money brings more problems than it does solving issues because of just the thing about it, right? Didn't we just see something with Marissa Green on TV? That poor guy who died, God bless his soul, because he won $30 million in lottery. You know, I mean, right here in our own county. So
all in our own county. And you know what? Like my prayer is so different because it's like, I know that's what happens, but I'm like, God, please let me experience that before I leave this earth, but also surround me with the knowledge to keep it and to have it be generational. Surround me with the right people who can help me grow with it. Like teach me what I need to know about having and sustaining this money, but I want the money.
Yeah, well, we all do. I just say it brings
happiness and the fulfillment and the purpose, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
The money.
Happiness.
One time.
I know. You're not wrong. I think we find our own happiness. It comes from within. You know, we're fulfilled every single day. And it's a choice. I learned a long time ago from a trainer that we had in banking. And she was like, happiness is not something that just comes to you, you know, when the door opens with gifts in front of you. It is a choice that you make inside every day, you know, so you can. Your situations can create a bitter situation, or they can create you to be better. And I know that's kind of cliche-ish, and we've heard that 1,000 times, but it's 100% true. Yes. How do we just continually be better, right? Like I want to be happy for other people. If I'm giving gratitude and grateful for what I've learned from other people, or I'm happy for other people, it makes me happy too.
Absolutely.
And I've had some really kind of bad things happen to me from other people. And even in some of those really bad moments, I just prayed for them.
Yeah.
And I prayed for myself too, you know? So
Good. Stephanie, I promise you, like I'm so on that journey. And you told me a little, a glimpse. Before I start with my spiel, did I give you the opportunity to tell all of the things that you learned? Because I think one of the things you were saying is that you've learned to be happy with the people who are there to support you as well as the people who are not. Were you going down a list of the thoughts that you had in terms of the things that you've learned as a result of your comeback story? I hope I didn't cut you off or anything.
no. You know, people are people,
Yeah,
right? And you can't control them, and you
yeah,
can't control what they think or say or do, right? So I got to a point where I just kind of backed up a little bit and looked at every relationship I had. I would always tell people like, "Oh, I know them really well. They're my friend." Blah, blah. But are they really my friend?
yeah.
They were, so I just kind of took a step back and was like, who are the people that continually show up honestly,
Listen,
authentically,
listen.
genuinely in my life? And I
Yeah.
pretty much named them all, minus a couple too, Lacey Gardner, Stephanie Hoskins. Sorry, I forgot to mention you earlier, but I love you very much. So anyway, sorry, I had to get that out there.
Stephanie was saying she's getting dizzy today.
I love her. I love her. She's wonderful. I love Steph. She's Stephanie number 2. Now she'll tell you I'm Stephanie number 2, but we fight about that. But I just had to take a real observation of who was really there. Now, there have been people in my life that I've learned from, but I think it's one of those things, right? Like seasons, people come and go.
Yeah.
And I just look at it like, okay, I'm not having any hard feelings towards them. I hope they're not towards me either. I again can't control that, but I really enjoyed every relationship I've ever had with anybody, good or bad, because I've always learned something from it, right? And I just think the older you get, the smaller your circle comes, right, or becomes, and those are the people that are always they're going to text you, they're going to call you, they're the ones who are going to check on you, even when they're having bad days. And again, people be people, and yes, Simone, 100%.
Yes.
People be on.
Ooh,
Yeah. So I think, one of the things I do want to say too, and remind everybody about, is that I have always believed, and I truly believe this even more now, that we are put on earth for other people, not for ourselves.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people are so just blinders on, and they're only looking at the world that they're facing right now. And everybody's dealing with a lot. So I'm not asking anybody to like go out and, like focus on everybody else, but I'm just saying people are not going to always be there. People are just focused on themselves, and we also need to give them grace too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and it's okay. It is absolutely okay. People. God love them. We just pray for them.
Listen, just off of that, with what you said, just being like really, really transparent.
Sure.
And I don't think that there's a space to keep it hidden or anything like that, because it kind of comes like full circle with that support thing. Because if my tribe has made it to the end of this podcast, then they will hear this message, but it will also let me know if they don't. And that's okay. I was going to send a text to my tribe of friends, because I was just realizing, like, with certain people, I just feel so disconnected. And I'm like, well, are y'all talking to each other? Because I don't like, I don't know how you're doing. I don't know what's going on in your life. It's like, it's been so long. Like, I just looked up and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like how you say, like, you'll notice the people because they'll call and they'll check on you. And I'm like, I haven't heard from some all year. And I'm just like, it is April. And it's like, you have like these new sayings like, well, if you're the type of friend where I have to hear from you every day, like you're just not, I don't need those type of friends, because why do I need to hear from you every day? But it's just like, I think it's just meeting your friends and knowing what your friends need at that time, not going with social media status quo, but actually, what does your friend need? Like, when is the last time you checked in on your friend? Like, do you know what's going on in their lives? And I think I just felt so disconnected, and it goes along with the workshop topic that you are having with these tough conversations. It's just like I configured, I formed the text, but then I erased it. And I erased it because I was just like, today I want to be happy. I don't want to be disappointed. I don't want to be disappointed by the friend that doesn't respond to me. I don't want to be disappointed by the friend that responds in a way that I don't necessarily want to hear. So I was just like, you know what? Today I don't want to be disappointed. So I'm not going to send this text. But I think it's to the point where it's a text that needs to be, sent, because those are relationships that I do want to salvage, because it's just been so long. And it's just like, I love seeing stories like yours where you can definitely say, this is my tribe. These are the people who support me. And it's just like, you know what? I deserve that too. I want that. And if I don't have that, then I'm not above creating it. It's just like you said, the older you get, it's just some things that you know that you want, that you need, in the space that you're in. And so, you've hit so many great things, but I just said, okay, I'm just going to spill it, because it's like she's looking into my soul today.
So here's what I'm going to say to that. When you're thinking about somebody, whoever that person might be, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 people, send them a text. Just text.
And listen. So I'm gonna give myself, I'll give myself three slashes, because I did it. But here's the weird thing: I did it to people that I genuinely was thinking about, but I did it to those people that I knew were not going to let me down. They're not necessarily in my tribe, but I know these people are always like a bright spot for me. Like they don't let me down. Like they're always encouraging from afar. And I'm okay with them being from afar because we're not that close. But anytime I reach out to them, they never disappoint me. So I reach out to them.
So what are you afraid of?
We're going to really, really hurt me. It's like, I don't want to be hurt today. I'm just going to not send this text today.
So see, I feel like okay. So real talk, you're avoiding something, right? You're avoiding being hurt. But maybe you're preempting a situation that hasn't even happened yet. So you're setting something up for failure that hasn't even happened yet. So
very true.
Why just reach out? You don't know until you know, right? I did it. With some people, and I realized I was like, okay, noted, check, gotcha.
Yes.
Thanks. You taught me something today. I appreciate you.
Yes.
Have a great day. You know, you can't be afraid to do that. So when I started doing the Empower and Evolve stuff with Lori, I was very afraid to put it out there. Not the same thing, but similar, right? So, and the reason I was afraid is because I was worried what everybody was going to think. Oh my God, Stephanie's lost her mind, whatever. And then I just sat here one day and I just thought, and I said, these people don't pay my bills. I'm going to let them know what I'm doing anyway. So I just started texting and emailing and then people just started buying tickets and showing up. And not everybody is out supporting us. That's okay. We're fine. We're going to keep moving forward because we feel like this is what we're called to do. But I had to get over that fear of the rejection, right? Yeah. Because I think that's kind of what you're saying. So I had to get over the fear of the rejection or disappointment, which however you want to word it, of people not responding. And again, it's okay. And once I did, it was like drinking from a fire hose. It did not bother me anymore. I'm putting it out there. This is what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. We are impacting people's lives and we are doing it positively, and inspiring people. And when you feel like you're like, oh, should I do it? Should I do it? If it's something major, pray about it, of course. But Absolutely. If it's something that's reaching out, because the way that you feel, what if somebody else feels that way?
Yeah.
What if the other end feels that way? Yeah. And they just need to hear from you because you're lovely, right? I could talk to Lori all day. I'm like, why are you always so stinking happy? It aggravates the heck out of me.
Yes.
But honestly, I need her in my life because I can go down a rabbit hole of pure negativity in a quick minute. So when she's like, hi, good morning. I'm like, oh, I love you so much, and just, I try to match her energy. I can't. Far greater than I am at
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
we're so yin and yang. I love it.
I love it. Yeah, yeah.
But she's, but a lot of my friends can come back with that energy too. And sometimes I'm the positive one, right? So every relationship has its little Tetris mold of like how we fit into each other's lives. Sometimes people need me to be that bubbly encourager or, words of wisdom. I don't know how many of I have those I have, but just providing, a listening ear. And sometimes when you reach out to your friend, Jazz, they might just need to hear from you,
Mhm. Yeah. That's a
when
good
you're when maybe it's like, okay, well, I don't know if I should because I don't know how they're gonna feel. Girl, just text them.
point.
Okay, they might be like, oh my God, Jazz is texting me. Like, what?
Listen, I am very much so hoping for that response. Like I have, because I've texted before. Because I get into these spaces where I'm on the go, right? I am just laser focused, where it's just like, if this is it's like at this point in my life, I need something that's going to bring me joy. So I'm going to go to an outdoor concert, or I'm going to go to the movies. I'm going to go to Hollis Gardens because the flowers make me happy. I'm going to just do something. I'm going to go to Rita's Italian Ice because I love it. Or just something with pleasure. And then that's like, I'm looking around, I'm like, I'm doing all this stuff by myself. Like, what the heck? Like, I have a tribe of friends, and it's just like, it only takes that one time for me to invite somebody and they don't respond or they don't show up. And it just puts me I'm just like, you know what? This is why I do stuff by myself. This is why I don't include you, because when I'm trying to invite you, da 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 da. And so today I was in one of those spaces where it's just like, I just can't deal with that today. Like I need a yes. I miss you too, sis. I need a something. But that silence, no. So you are absolutely right. But I do have like I don't want to say all of these words are spilling in my head like a Rolodex, and I don't know why. I do have a pattern where it's just like, okay, maybe I need to just text y'all separately because this group chat will hurt my feelings. Maybe I just
You know what you could do too, Jazz? What's wrong with saying, hey, I need some encouragement today. Send me something.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
If you don't ask for it, you'll never get it. You can't just assume people know what's going on in your head.
Very
Just
true.
like, I need some encouraging words. Hit me up. I don't care what they are. Tell me I'm ugly. I know you're kidding. Thank you.
I love it.
So, it's just kind of, you got to kind of ask for it sometimes,
Be explicit. I get it. I love that. And thank you for that. It's received, and I will try that. I love that. That is something that I did not think of. So thank you.
Like you're asking like, hey, you want to come do this with me? And, if the answer is no, say, okay, fine. Give me some encouraging words.
Right.
Tell me to walk boldly in this,
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Listen, in this conversation, the one thing that I really liked that you said that resonated with me, because our journey is very similar. I don't think I shared that with you, but it is very, very similar. When we say that titles are not what make us, but then when you don't have that title, it's like, oh my gosh. And I have been sitting without the title of assistant principal for a very long time. I would say, I want to say 2019 was my last year of being an assistant principal. So I have not been an assistant principal for like 6 years. And I just, and then like in my leadership cohort, I was like the first person that got an assistant principal job. So it was just like going from that to seeing all of my cohort now they're principals and above. And I'm just like, huh. But you said something back then in our conversation that I said in my brain when it was happening. And you said, I am not this banker. I am Stephanie Colón, and I'm showing up as her. And that is exactly what I remember telling myself. Like, I'm not this title. Like, you are about to find out who Jasmine Bennett is. That's what's about to happen. And it's like, it's so weird because it was so many people that did not know that I no longer had that position. It's still people to this day. Like, I have people coming up to me like, Dr. Bennett, like, it's so great to meet you, da 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 da. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, it's like it's like in their brains, my career, it's like it was unscathed. And I
Mhm.
just think that is such the essence of God, and such the essence of God telling me, you were great before you even got this title. Like, you were great because you
Yeah.
are great because I created you in greatness. And you do
Mhm.
not need this title to show people how great you are. And as a matter of fact, I'm able to be great in several titles. And so it was just that promise to myself, that it was just like, I am not gonna ever let a job define who I am. I will define what this job is. I'm like,
Yes.
my God, to be in a position right now where I literally am defining what this position is. This position was created, and I
Mhm.
came in and recreated it. It's just like, God, thank you. Because that
Yeah.
was a situation just like you, where, like you said,
Mhm.
you sought God first.
Yeah.
And it's just like that whole formula that I saved for a comeback. It's just like, I was just sitting one day, and I'm like, there are some similarities in every single one of these stories that I'm hearing from these beautiful guests that I have. And it's like, I never force anybody to say anything about God, and they all do.
Mhm.
Never force anyone to say that they had to use their resources, but it's not just about being connected to people who are great. Like, you have to be able to tone and hone in on what resources, what strategies are you going to use. Like you said, you went to a speaker's class
Mhm.
to be a speaker. You got yourself around people and you listened to all of this advice. You went to several banks and learned best practices from each institution that you were at. Those are your resources, and learning how to use those resources effectively. And then, girl, you've been putting in work. You have been putting in work for year
Mhm.
after year after year. And it's
Mhm.
like, that is the formula for definitely for a comeback. And
Yeah.
that story that you said that you haven't shared with people, but you shared it here. I don't take that lightly at all, and I tell people that all the time. But there is such a power in that.
Mhm.
There is such a power in that, in the fact that you stood your ground. You did something and you stood behind a decision that you believed in, because you did nothing wrong, and you said, in spite of this decision, I am going to move forward in excellence. And that's exactly what you have been doing. That's exactly what we see. And anybody who sees something different, they just haven't opened their eyes fully enough, wide enough, to see the
Mhm.
greatness that you are. You've had all of these accolades, businesswoman of the year in
Mhm.
2000, and was it 21?
I 21, 22. I don't remember. So
You got that award. I'm only saying that facetiously, because that's something that I aspire to do. You got that award. What did that feel like to you?
Um, well, I didn't think I was gonna get it,
Yeah.
but I was nominated and by a doctor, and he's like, "You better apply." And I was like, because he had nominated me before, but I
Yes.
probably wasn't ready to receive it. And so I applied, and did what whatever, answered all the questions and so on. And there were some other amazing women up there, nominees. And when they called my name, my husband's like, "They're going to call your name." And I'm like, "No, they're not." Like,
Yeah.
no, really, they're not. There's a couple of other women up here who are like the bomb.
Yeah.
And so, kind of like sitting on stage next to Mecca, I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
my, who are you?
Yeah.
You know me?" Like,
Amazing,
I was a
right?
country girl.
Yeah.
No, it's so funny. Anyway, um, it was a very proud moment
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
It was validation, of course, and it's great. But at the end of the day, that award's going to go in the trash when I die. My kids aren't going to keep that. You
Yeah.
know, my reward and my accolades come from raising 4 kids who are hardworking individual people, who are great parents, who are loving and caring, and who spend time with me and my husband and Tony. And and we're just a great unit family. Those are my rewards. That's all that matters to me. That and that group of friends I mentioned, those are the people in my life that I care and love about the most. I mean, of course it's great to be recognized, and I don't take that lightly. And I'm grateful for the chamber, the Lakeland Chamber of Commerce, who awarded me that award. And like you, I aspired to be just like that. I was like, I want that award one day. And I saw all these wonderful women getting it ahead of me, like Janice Jones and Michelle Ledford. And I was like, I just aspire to be just like them.
Yeah.
And, I got this award, And the next day, I was still Stephanie the banker.
Yeah.
I just now had this amazing, recognition, which was, again, I'm not downplaying it. I love everybody at the chamber, and I was really grateful for it. But, there's just more to life to that is what I'm trying to get at. And that is what I think we need to just remember every once in a while. Just take a moment, remember what's most important. My coach at the time asked me, who is Stephanie Colón? And when I answered him, it was not a real answer. And then I finally wrote him a letter this year explaining who I was to him. Now, he's not my coach anymore, but he's always my coach. Like, he'll always be my guy. Yeah. And, I was able to write this letter and thank him for pushing me to understand what that question really, really meant. And so I honor him with that letter. And I hope he kept that letter so his kids can read it one day, because they need to know how amazing their father is. And it was just, you got to know you're here on this earth, but we're not here for ourselves. We're here for other people. And that's also a reward. Knowing that you have an impact on someone's life, that's the reward.
Yes. Listen, Stephanie, you keep reading my mind through this interview, because I promise you my last question to you was going to be, in all of its essence, in all of your essence, who is Stephanie Colón? That was going to be my last question to you. When even after seeing this episode, even with meeting you, even with attending your workshop, when people leave you, what do you want them to know about you?
Oh, wow. That you don't have to be stuck. Don't give up. Believe in yourself. Don't let societal norms or societal influences dictate what you think you can and can't do.
Yeah.
Don't limit yourself. It is truly a limitless life. If you believe you can do the things that you have a desire to do them. And write it down, put it on paper, look at it every day, and take the steps to do that every single day. So that's how I want people to feel, like they have left feeling empowered to go through life, knowing who they are, what they're capable of, and that they can do the things that they really desire to do.
Absolutely.
Without hesitation. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
So.
I love it. Look, I've only gotten a snippet of the workshop, and I appreciate the advice. I so appreciate the time. I know you have spent a day relaxing. I know that you have a very special day coming up tomorrow. It is your birthday. So happy early birthday. It's a busy day tomorrow for you.
Yes, but I will say I have a girls' weekend coming up starting on Friday with my girlfriends, and my good friend Stephanie Hoskins helped me plan my birthday party dinner since my husband's not here. So, and shout out to Tony Colón, because he had a birthday present delivered today, and he's just so wonderful.
Oh,
yeah, he's that kind of guy. Yeah, I know.
God sends that man.
Oh, yeah, I remember from our sit, you were like, "Where is this man?"
Please.
One day you get to meet him, Jazz.
I love that. I'm going to put a happy early birthday shout out to you from Simone. She says, happy early birthday. But yeah, I truly, I really do. I appreciate you just giving up your time. I appreciate you for being the great person that you are. I do want my Jazzie crew to make sure that they support you. So I am going to put the information for the Empower and Evolve. This is a transformative workshop this Thursday. All right, April 24th, and it's at Spring Hill Suites. Very nice hotel. That's the one that's right by the RP funding building, from 8:30 to 12:30 p.m. You can still get your tickets, but you are not selling tickets after Wednesday. So you guys have to get your tickets now, okay? 3/4 of the way sold out. You already know what that is. Lakelanders are late with things. I'm glad it's just not my niche of people whenever I'm putting on an event, but we know that it's going to be sold out. We know that it's going to be beautiful.
Yes.
We know that it's going to be transformative. And you guys get to meet Lori, who is like the friend of all friends. Like, Lori needs to create like a blueprint of how to support your girl.
Yeah, she's so wonderful. She's good to me. Yes.
We love that. And so Stephanie, thank you so much for giving up your time on this special Monday. Episode 150 belongs to you and only you. No one else will ever get 150. And so I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for inspiring. Thank you. I hope that you have motivated someone to never give up, to go after their dreams, to not be afraid, and just to do it, and do it with assertiveness and with confidence, with kindness as well. And women rock. Women need to support women. So I hope everyone has taken a nugget or two or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 from this episode. And so thank you so much, Stephanie, for being my special guest. Make sure you guys follow her on her social media platforms. You can follow her on Facebook at Stephanie Colón. You can also follow her on IG at Steffi C422 and LinkedIn at Stephanie Colón. So please make sure you keep up with her, book her for your services, attend her workshops because they are impeccably amazing. And so we will definitely keep up with you. And so, Stephanie, I hope you have a very good night. I hope that you guys make sure that you subscribe, you follow, and that you engage with this podcast episode by leaving us a review in the comment section. Thank you, those who have been watching in real time and you guys have been interacting. I appreciate it. I have spotlighted some of your comments and we will go back and do the same. I really want you to share this episode. This episode is shareable, even from the YouTube link, the favorite podcast that you listen to, whatever platform that is, you can share it from there. You can also share it from my personal Facebook page and my business Facebook page. That's at Jazzie, Jazzie, Conversations with Jazz. All right. So I will see you back next Monday for episode 151. Happy pre-birthday, Stephanie.
Thank you. Mwah. I love you, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being
I
such
appreciate you.
Now go get your baby. Go get your fur baby.
I know you're sorry.
I know.
Real life.
All right. Have a great night.
You too, darling. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.